Who should catch for Shohei Ohtani?
The Los Angeles Dodgers, Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman. This is a team packed with stars who have already carved their names into baseball history. A true modern-day super team in Major League Baseball. But no matter how much star power you have, baseball is still a game played by 9 men. And in the middle of a grueling 162-game season, the Dodgers quietly found themselves facing a major crisis. Their starting catcher, Will Smith, was gone. And suddenly, one question rose to the surface. Who exactly should be catching Shohei Ohtani?
Thank you for being here. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe.
Shohei was the only one who never gave up on me.
The loss of starting catcher Will Smith, the unquestioned anchor behind the plate and the man who held the pitching staff together, was a major problem for the Dodgers. Smith wasn't just a catcher who could hit. He was a catcher who could defend, and a catcher deeply trusted by his pitchers. Losing a player like that wasn't just one player going down with an injury. It was the kind of blow that could shake the foundation of the entire team. And for Shohei Ohtani, who had finally begun his return to the mound as a pitcher once again, the question of who would catch his pitches had become one of the biggest issues. That could shape the course of the season. A blazing fastball that tops 100 miles per hour. A sweeper that breaks sharply across the zone. And off-speed pitches that seem to vanish right in front of the hitter. Catching Shohei Ohtani is about far more than simply putting up a mitt. Against the best hitters in the world, you have to decide in an instant which pitch to call, in which situation, and exactly where to put it. Among Japanese media and fans, one question began to take over the conversation. While Will Smith was out, who should be the one catching Shohei Ohtani? Some said, the Dodgers need to trade for an experienced veteran catcher. Others argued, this is the moment to give a young prospect a real shot and develop him into the catcher of the future. The debate kept heating up, and Dodgers fans watched closely, holding their breath to see what kind of move the front office would make. But behind all that noise, there was one catcher quietly sitting at the very bottom of the lineup, batting ninth. His name was Chucky Robinson. And yet, in that recent showdown against the rival Padres, in a game filled with tension from start to finish, the man who expertly guided the starting pitcher threw his body in front of baseballs and helped carry the Dodgers to a win was none other than Robinson. But when the news broke the next morning, the spotlight once again belonged to the star hitters who had gone deep. A catcher with a dirt-covered chest protector. A catcher who dropped to his knees again and again, using his entire body to keep the ball in front of him. That kind of performance almost never gets the spotlight. But once you hear the story of this little-known catcher, the way you see him may never be the same. Why is a player with no track record and almost no name recognition, the one catching the pitches of Shohei Ohtani, the most watched player in the world? The answer was hidden in the very journey of his baseball life. Chucky Robinson was born into a family of catchers that spanned 3 generations. His grandfather was a catcher. His father was a catcher too. From the time he was little, his home was filled with well-worn catcher's mitts and pieces of gear. His grandfather's hands and his father's hands were thick, scarred, and beaten up from years behind the plate. Jammed fingers, bruises, even fingers permanently bent out of shape. Every time young Robinson looked at those hands, he grew up feeling both the pride and the brutal reality of what it meant to be a catcher. And before long, he began walking that same path himself. He chose life behind the plate, stepped into the world of professional baseball, and started chasing the dream of reaching the major leagues. But what was waiting for him there was not a glamorous rise to stardom. In the major leagues, his career batting average stood at just .130. In today's game, offensive numbers play a huge role in how players are judged. This is a world where the players who get praised are the ones who can hit home runs, get on base at a high rate, and deliver in the biggest moments. In that world, a .130 batting average was an incredibly harsh number, and his career was marked again and again by one brutal message. Designated for assignment: the Reds, the White Sox, the Braves. He bounced from one organization to another. But nowhere was he ever the main guy. He was the player taken off the roster to make room for someone else. The player cut when a team needed to clear a spot. When roster decisions got cruel, the pressure always seemed to fall on players in a position like his. You're no longer needed. The words may have been different each time, but the reality being forced on him was always the same. And yet Robinson never stopped being a catcher. No matter how many times he was rejected, no matter how many times he was cast aside, he kept polishing his mitt. Even with the Dodgers, he was never truly needed. He became a free agent and drifted away from the bright stage of the major leagues. And still, he was picked up once again on a minor league deal, a contract with no guarantees. The season did not begin for him in front of a packed Dodger Stadium crowd. It began in AAA, where the seats were sparse and the spotlight was gone, and almost everyone thought the same thing. He was probably never going to make it back to the major leagues again. But then, fate took an unexpected turn. One after another, the Dodgers catchers went down with injuries, including Will Smith. Suddenly short on options behind the plate, the Dodgers turned to Robinson and called him back up to the major leagues as a desperate solution. In late June against the Twins, Robinson delivered 2 hits and drove in a run. It was his first major league hit in nearly 2 years. A man no one expected anything from. A man who had been cast aside again and again and still refused to give up, had finally delivered on the major league stage. After the game, in a quiet corner of the clubhouse after the cameras were gone, he is said to have softly said this: "Shohei saved me. He was the only one who never gave up on me." So what exactly did Shohei Ohtani say to this little-known catcher? The day before Ohtani's start, Robinson was alone in the meeting room, studying data on the opposing lineup. That was when Ohtani quietly walked into the room. He sat down beside Robinson and carefully began talking through his pitch mix, his sequencing, and how he wanted to attack each hitter. And at the very end, he told him this: "Chucky, I trust your signs. Even if one of my pitches bounces, I know you'll keep it in front of you. So I want you to lead with confidence. When we're out there on the mound, we're equals as a battery." At that moment, something changed inside Robinson. Up to that point, he had always been watching other people's reactions, trying not to get cut, trying not to make mistakes, trying not to become a burden. He had been suppressing his own voice, trying to become nothing more than a player who simply did the role he was asked to do. But Ohtani was different. Shohei Ohtani, one of the biggest stars in the world, didn't see him as just a fill-in. He respected Robinson for who he truly was, a man carrying the pride of 3 generations of catchers, a man who had survived the pain of being cast aside again and again. In the end, Dalton Rushing returned, and Shohei Ohtani never ended up forming a battery with Chucky Robinson. But one thing is certain: Ohtani changed something inside him, a .130 batting average. If you look at that number alone, Robinson's value might seem small. But the job of a catcher cannot be measured by numbers alone. It means absorbing a pitcher's anxiety, reading what the hitter is looking for, seeing the entire field, and putting your body on the line for the sake of winning. That is the invisible work he had been piling up all along. And Shohei Ohtani saw the value in it. A true star is not someone who shines only for himself. A true star is someone who recognizes the value of a teammate, fighting in places no one else sees, and has the power to light that fire in his heart once again. Shohei Ohtani did exactly that for Robinson. Even now, this battery continues to quietly write a new chapter in Dodgers history, in a place where almost no one is watching.
Thanks for watching all the way through. What did you think? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us as we continue to follow Shohei Ohtani's incredible journey. See you in the next one.